Hey, we are talking about SAGA's concert in Copenhagen, a night to remember, tour 2022. So, when I was at the Fall Fest in Poughkeepsie, New York, SOT Fall Fest, I was asked why SAGA is so popular in Northern Europe. And just to give you an example, in 1985 at the Rock am Ring in Germany, uh, Elton John were performing in front of 100,000 people, and he was the headliner. But chose to go on early in the evening because he wanted to take a helicopter back to UK. And near the end of his set, he could hear the crowd chanting, increasing with increasing volume, "Saga, Saga, Saga!" Backstage Ian Crichton of Oakville, Ontario, couldn't believe what he was hearing. They were chanting the name of the Canadian band due next on stage, drowning out the end of the superstar set. And this, I think, explains some of the reason why SAGA is so popular in Northern Europe. In, but in their homeland, in Canada, they are not very uh, well, not as popular as they actually should be. I mean, you can still hear some of the on the classic radio in Canada, like "On the Loose" or "Wind Him Up" from the Worlds Apart album from 1981. But um, even though has Saga sold about 8 million records so far, and and even though that they decided in 2020, 2017, to stop performing, they actually got back on track and went out and started touring again. And one of the things that made them very special was the chapters that was spread out over a lot of albums, and took 25 years to complete. And then they made the world famous Chapters Live album here, recorded live in Germany in 2003 and released in 2005. Now, so let's go back to their performance in Copenhagen. They started out with, they went on stage exactly at 8 p.m. in the evening, and they started with "Careful Where You Step." Then they played the tune "Framed," then "Days Like This," "On the Loose," and then Michael Sadler, who was actually have the whole audience in the palm of his hand, started to ask if they trusted him. "Do you trust me?" He said, "Yeah," responded the audience, and he asked that question several times. And then they started playing the title song from the album "Trust." Then they had conversations back to, let's say, more classic uh, SAGA. They went on to do humble stance. Then the band left, except the drummer, and he made a fantastic drum solo. It took about 5 minutes. Fantastic. Showed how good a musician he was. Then the band came back, started to sing "Step Inside" or "Climbing the Ladder." Then they went on to do "Pitchman." And then at this time, people were started chanting, "Don't be late," but Michael Sadler nicely told them it's too early for that. So they started with "On the Air," "Scratching the Surface," and "You're Not Alone," which made the whole uh, all start singing along with the band. Then it came Don't Be Late, which is it took 9 minutes, but it's fantastic. Got the whole audience up and just singing along, and it's just fantastic to see how he managed to grab the audience, and very, very well done. Then the band left because that should be the last number, and they had played about 1 hour and 40 minutes. So they came back, and then of course they took Wind Him Up from, as I said, the album from 1981, and then How Long as the second encore. Then they tried to escape once again, but the audience got them back, and they ended the concert with The Flyer. And this concert in Copenhagen in Amager Bio was sold out, and the same was the concert the next day in Aarhus. And the same is for almost every concert they have in Northern Europe and in Germany. So they were very successful, and the concert was just, I mean, SAGA when it's best. It's just, you could see that the musician really enjoyed being on stage, even though they actually were traveling Europe from Spain to Norway and back again. And it's just amazing to see them just the happiness of playing live in front of an audience. And as I said, Michael Sadler is fantastic, but don't. I mean, if you take Ian Crichton or whatever, however he talks, he's a fantastic guitarist, and I really enjoyed that part of the concert, seeing him playing his amazing guitar player. So all in all, if I have to say, give them let's say 5 out of 5 stars as the maximum, I will say this was a 4.5, because you still have to pass Yes when they did Yes songs back in 1972. It's a long time ago, but I really enjoyed that. So this was my take on SAGA in Amager Bio, Copenhagen, on 24th of October 2022, of course, sorry. So till we see you again, bye bye.